Body Shop, that's who we are.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give
John Henry's
a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
December is here, which means your stress levels are probably high as you try to wrap up year-end work tasks, attend holiday gatherings, and find the perfect holiday gift for everyone in your family. Good news! The Body Shop can relieve your stress with a massage for you and a gift card for a massage for your shopping purposes. Book an appointment for yourself or get a gift card for the holidays today at thebodyshoplincoln.com, located at 48th and A.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite tailored light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into Ticket Weeknights. I'm Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Host as always, DeMornay Pierson'El to my left with a guest as well. DeMornay, I'll go ahead and let you bring him in since former roommate as well.
Former black shirt, leading tackler at the time, fraternity brother, my college roommate, Kyron Williams. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of things to talk about. We got the Duke's Mayo Bowl right overhead here. Obviously, NFL as we're getting down the stretch here. And, of course, Husker football. No bowl game yet this year, but plenty of things to talk about. We obviously, Dylan Raiola, big news there. What the future might look like down the road. Guys, where do you want to start out with? We can go anywhere.
I'm following you guys.
All right, we can, you know what? I want to start here with the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if you guys have been following that one, but
man, it's so
they drop another game. They are down to a 27-game losing streak.
The record. They're going to beat it.
Well, they got the Celtics up next. That seems like a sure loss right there.
Meaning they're getting 29, not getting the win. They're for sure. I recant what I said yesterday. They're losing it.
When you guys have gotten to a bad stretch, obviously probably nothing to the likes of the Pistons. They're going to be pretty close to. I mean, the last team to ever do it was the Jazz, and that was split between two seasons when they got to 28. These guys, I mean, Cade Cunningham, he drops 41 points, does everything he needs to, 51 true shooting percentage. Right. They still find a way to get a loss. I
think Cade need to get out of there. Cade needs to pack up all his bags and try to get somewhere.
I wouldn't blame him at this point. And then with Monty Williams, with the massive contract he has, he's not going anywhere either. Who's to really blame in the Detroit Pistons organization right now? You think it's players, personnel? Do you think it's Monty Williams?
It was the personnel before Monty got there. Right. You had, you pieced together, the puzzle and created, that environment with firing coaches and bringing in and bringing this and that. Y'all not executing. Y'all not doing your job to successfully eye talent and get, the right people that you need to, bring in the people in there. And, the Pistons they're a good franchise like historically, with
great
Ben
fan
Wallace.
Base. They deserve better.
So, I mean, I think the city is tired of losing, with the Lions and whatnot. The Lions is shaking out of it. Hopefully, the Pistons aren't too far behind. Yeah.
It almost feels like the Lions, it's like the Pistons sacrificed their season so the Lions can finally get back on track. But yeah, it's never good when you're here in the crowd, not just once, twice, but 3 times this year, we're yelling, sell the team, at your own home court. It's rough. We won't stay on the Pistons too long because we'll see if they can break the record. But I asked Almon Green this. Curious to your guys' thoughts. Obviously, Nebraska football hasn't gone bowling since 2016. How detrimental is that to a program when you don't get those extra practices? Is that talked about too much, or is that a real thing?
I think it can be a real thing if you let it be, right? I think you have to understand where you guys are as a program. And when I say you guys, it's the guys that are there right now, right? Like the guys who already didn't go, there's nothing they can do about it. But I think, those guys that are in a position now, you got to figure out, hey, why did we not make it? Why were we short, right? I think, 2016, that's the year that me and DP were there. And we had to look ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, what do we want to do and who do we want to be, right? So I just think those guys have to ask themselves that question, and I think they'll figure it out. I think Coach Rule knows what he's doing.
That's my next question. What's your guys' confidence level with Matt Rule? I don't want to, especially year one, he already matched Frost's record with 5 wins. That was the most he got. 4 games left. You can't quite go bowling. Close games nonetheless. What's your confidence level with Matt Rule going forward?
I mean, I think he can do the job. I just think he needs to have guys under him that want to take his leadership and that can develop players. And if we get guys in there that can develop these players and take them to the next level and not make it a 1-year thing, right? Like, this is Nebraska football. It's culture. It's going to take 4 or 5 years of creating a family, creating a team, and, getting to that level that you want to be at.
How much does Dylan Raiola move the needle? And Kalen at that. I don't want to leave him out in those 2 Elite 11 QBs.
It's good that you got that. That's one. I feel like that's one piece of the puzzle. They finished the season as what they did of how the quarterback room looked. That was a very shaky room, and at minimum, we lost games because of us, not really because of other people. So I think that's a prominent thing. Looking forward and down the road, now is just okay, getting somebody to shape those pieces and
development,
putting them, in a better position, putting them in a better position once they step on campus, and not, have them kind of just go along on their self, kind of figuring it out, or, playing through stuff X, Y, and Z. And I'm confident with Rule because he's done, rebuilds like this in other conferences, but those conferences wasn't in the Big Ten. It wasn't, in the ACC. It wasn't in the SEC. So this one is going to take a little bit more, but he knows what it's supposed to look like. So hopefully, he gets the right pieces in the quarterback room to shape those guys to be the defining factor to get over the hump and not just, continue to climb up.
How long? What's a realistic timeline for Nebraska and a big? It's because it's always perplexing to me because you look at a team like Northwestern who not only gets 7 games, they go bowling, they beat a good Utah team, in my opinion. It felt like they turned around after what was a fiasco before the season even started. You see Northwestern somehow rattle off 7 wins, go bowling, beat Utah on top of it. And that's probably the most surprising team out of everyone. What's a realistic timeline that we can have, serious criticism, but, not overbearing to the point where we still got to give them a little bit of breathing room?
I mean, I would say 2 to 3 years. I mean, a freshman is not going to come in and be able to just sling the ball around the field.
Yeah, there'll be growing pains.
There's right, and so I think that's back to the conversation where we had. You talk about development, right? Who's going to come in and develop these guys? Who's going to come in and say, "Hey, we're not going to easy bake oven. We're going to do it grandma style. We're going to stay in the kitchen for 6 hours, and it might not be ready till tomorrow, but when it is ready and it comes out, it's going to be a good product." So I think when you look around college football, you're looking at a lot of teams that are trying to do it easy bake oven, and they're, I'm just going to go get these top recruits. Well, now you're not doing what the game was meant to do, and that was to build camaraderie. You're not building a team. You're just going to go make an all-star team. So I think there has to be some merit in that. And, but I think Rule knows what he's doing. I don't think he's going to easy bake oven it. I think they're going to build it how it's supposed to be built. And that's a good starting piece. Now it's just like chess. You can't just play with one piece. You got to work on the other ones too. So
I think minimum 3. You have a good nucleus of guys that are in the building from, the offensive line. They were younger, kind of inexperienced. So once they get older in their junior and senior years and everything like that, they'll be, more gelled together. You got a good, like group of young guys on the offensive side and the receivers. You got a good back. You got to continue bringing in to help to give, the quarterbacks of what they need and everything like that. But the young guys right now in year 2 and 3, once, one of the quarterbacks step up and to make that step and everything like that, I think he's going to have a good group of seasoned guys that can help carry the load instead of depending on all the pressure being on one specific position. And because we don't have the quarterback playing right, or we don't have, the offensive line playing right, or we don't have the weapons outside that need to be doing what they need to do to help the quarterback out, or we can't stop nobody on defense. I don't know how long, the DC is going to be here, but he's establishing, that they can be one of the better defenses in the nation. So the nucleus is there. Now is just, making sure that the pieces that you do add complement everything and everybody is hitting cylinders on all strides. So I think, like I said, 3 years probably.
Yeah, I think that's a fair timeline. Again, I always look at teams like Northwestern, not only with the academic standards, but with the fiasco they had before the season. They still find a way, especially with the Big Ten West, that's going to be over. So you're gonna have to pick it up pretty quick here with the amount of competition that's going to be coming in here.
And these next 2 years are going to be a gauntlet.
Yeah.
So
the playoffs,
and you got a young quarterback, so you got to give him a time to adjust to what's being thrown at him weight wise, the playbook wise and everything like that, of understanding how to play at this level. Everything's happened faster. Everything happens quicker. People are bigger, faster, stronger. So you got to kind of understand the curve and don't expect him to walk in here and be a Heisman winner just because he's the number 1 player in the country. Like it's a team sport. It's not boxing.
No.
And then I'm with you. They just got to keep adding depth. Right? It feels like this is a good point where we did really well with a lot of Nebraska kids. Obviously, you get Carter Nelson, you get Grant Bricks. I know he's not Nebraska, but close enough nonetheless. And then, of course, the non-Nebraska kid, but you got the connections with Rayola. You managed to bring him in. You get the Nebraska kid in Kalen, 2 Elite 11 QBs.
Yep.
Now you just got to keep adding depth because Alabama, they got their guys. Georgia, they got their guys, but they got 4 and 5 stars
need depth
underneath.
on the D line. Like I think that's a place where we can still do some depth at, because I think we have 2 great guys there.
And Ty and Nash.
Right? Yeah, I think they do a great job. But we need to be rotating those guys in, because you see Georgia do it. You see Georgia bring in a fresh 4, every drive, right? So I would love to see that from our guys, and I think it's coming. But as you see, it's younger guys who are going to be establishing themselves, and by the time those other guys get there, it's going to be like when me and DP got there and we had people like Amir Abdullah and Kenny Bell who had already been established, and it's like, okay, we can follow in line to how they establish themselves to be good players.
How aggressive was that learning curve for you guys to feel adjusted and comfortable playing Power 5 D1 football?
It was easy, bro. He started going crazy. I think for everybody, the learning curve is what you make it, because it's all about the attention to detail, and it's about, obviously everybody's athletic enough to be there. So I think if you can have some wherewithal to understand, hey, I got to be on time and I have to complete what I have to complete, and I got to have that same attention to detail on the field, then you're gonna be able to play.
Sacrificing and discipline. So our freshman year, me and him played. It was both, more so special teams contributor. And then, I took off more so on the offense later on in the season. But I remember talks about stuff and everything like that. If he going over, I got to do this stuff to understand it and everything like that. Of, okay, I'm trying to shut down, this, if he gets thrown into the game and everything like that. And me understanding, okay, well, what are you trying to take away? Of picking each other brain to understanding, okay, now it's just not, X's and O's. Now it's not just, relying on my athletic ability to get me over the edge. It's understanding, okay, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to do it, and like, where can I, change the game at on offense, defense, special teams, and everything like that. It's not easy. It can be done. But it goes back to how disciplined are you to, to be reliable every day, to be consistent. And some days, it can go up and down, but you show up to what you are and you put in the work, to show up on film and everything like that, you'll start to stack good days, and that's what it's about. So it depends necessarily, on how bad does somebody want it, to understand it and to fix it, to be like, okay, well, I messed up on that. That's not going to continue to be a occurring thing. And that's, something, we had a young class. We had a few players that actually contribute, special teams wise, offensive wise, and defensive wise, our freshman year, to where, I think it was like 4 or 5 of us that actually got to play with special teams and playing, offense and defense. And it was the same all across the board: consistency, discipline, and understanding, what the task is, and not being a problem, or to put our team in a problem or in a bad situation.
And that is one thing I like about Matt Rule too, is he wants his best guys out there on special teams. Like, he doesn't think that's a position group. It's like, oh, you can get some reps here on special teams. Right. We've seen Iowa dominate alone through special teams. You can't mess around on that part of the field.
At the next level, that's a job.
Yeah,
that's good. And
it's a 3-phase game too. I think some people miss that, is the fact that special teams is a part of the game. So I think if you can have your guys focused on that, and you can have some starters on that, whether it's just kickoff or whether, whatever it is, as long as you can have some starters on there and they can be leaders on those groups, it's going to bring those groups up.
Well, I mean, there's times there where, even DeMaurice Pierson'El, at times it almost felt disrespectful when they weren't putting great defensive players out there on special teams. It's like you're kind of asking for problems there, because that's an elite offensive player, a great special teams player, and you're not giving the respect he needs. And there's quite a few teams that got burned by doing that. So I do think Matt Rule gets that. The complementary football, it will be interesting to see what this offense is going to be, because you hear a lot talking about, I want it to look similar to Michigan, how they grind out the clock. It's physical, it's mean, grinded out football when they have the lead. With Dylan Raiola, I don't know if that's a guy where you're going to just want to be handing the ball off over and over again, kind of playing through the run game. Do you think that offensive scheme maybe changes a little bit, adding a 5-star talent in Dylan Raiola?
I would have to say you have to do both. You're going to have to hand that ball off, because he's a young guy. You don't want him just going in there, throwing it into the fire. You don't want him seeing ghosts, like how we've heard some players say before, right? It's like, sorry, coach, I thought they were in too high, right? Now we're playing big boy ball. They can start in too high and roll to 1 high, right? So I think we have to get that ball handed off, and I think we're going to have the guys to do it. I think right now we're going running back by committee, but that's not always a bad thing, right? Who has the hot hand?
Yeah, we saw with Emmett Johnson coming out of nowhere. Great running back.
Yeah, great running back. So yeah, I think he can do it. And I think when he does throw it, when they get to that plus 40 range and the field is open, okay, take your shot, kid, and we're going to block it up for you and give you the opportunity to do it.
I don't think in year one you want him to be in shotgun, what he's kind of been used to being, just picking apart stuff. I don't think we're there yet as a whole offense. So you're going to be more so of a balance. And then once he gets comfortable and understanding what the defense is doing, or he understands the flow of the game of okay, this is my preparation to this and this, and okay, it's X amount of more of this and more studying of that, then you can kind of, okay, well, we know he's good at that, and he's more comfortable and confident with, spreading it out a little bit more. Okay, well, we can attack that. But in the Big Ten, you're going to have to do both. If you plan to be one of these playoff teams and everything like that, you really can't be one dimensional, because if you come up against a solid defense to where they got All-Americans or first-round draft picks, on all 3 levels, you'll find yourself in trouble.
Yeah, you'll see that with Iowa again next year. You can't be just playing loose out there against a Iowa team who banks on you, taking short throws, expecting you to execute over and over and over again, giving up nothing over the top.
And then he's gonna have to have, hopefully, some weapons that can really won't get pulled back, or kind of put a leash on them. You release those, and then now you got an accurate quarterback. Now you got a quarterback that has a rocket launcher, and everything will start to tie in and everything like that. You can do your RPOs, you can do your rolling out, you can do your play fakes, big action, play action type plays, or you can spread it out, and it doesn't matter. You got the number 1 tight end on one side, right, a track star athlete and a football star on another side, and you got a burner or the 6'7" kid at X, and okay, well now let's see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So You just kind of got to be patient, but you can't be one dimensional. You can't be all pass and no run.
And I love the fact that we have some great tight ends too. Like we have a tight end who was the number 1 tight end in the class, and then we have the next best.
Yeah, we got Fedoni and Nelson lined up.
Right, we got 2 security blankets. Like, I mean, when you go look at guys who won Super Bowls, those guys always had great tight ends. You go look at national championship teams, they always have that guy that they can get it to, you know, if things are hitting the fan, right? So I like the fact that we have that. And so I think that that's going to carry us, and it's going to allow us to do shots over the top when it's time to do that. So
you think Carter Nelson gets quite a few reps in the upcoming season? I don't know if he'll be like your traditional tight end.
What will he play though? Because they're talking about offense and defense. So you got to figure out where you want him to be.
Offense. He's going to be the offensive side of the ball.
I mean, I think he can play both. As long if he's in 12, if it's 12 personnel, right, and it's a 2 tight end game, and now we have Thomas as our flex tight end, as our H, and you got the other guy, he's the blocker. I mean, it wouldn't be the first team that did it. It would look a lot like you just said, like Michigan, right? So I think, and then it would also allow him to play both sides because both of those things are nasty. He's a nasty blocker, and we've seen D linemen do it. I mean, Colorado just did it last year. They had their D linemen come in on, you know, short yardage downs, you know. So I think if we can be smart with it, I think where we are in college football now, college coaches are understanding somebody's gonna have to play both ways. If we want to do it all the way, somebody might have to do it, you know. So
yeah, and sometimes you can have incredible results with it. You know, talking about a guy in Travis Hunter who he's the definition of play two sides of the ball.
Even before that, Adoree Jackson.
For sure. We seen it in person. I seen him do a backflip
first hand.
Well, we got to throw out the break here on the first segment of the Don't Punt Hour. We got Kyron Williams in here, guest with DeMornay Pierson'El. Again, if you guys ever want to join the show, Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We'll throw out the break and talk to you guys on the other side.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating. Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Delivering the year-round comfort you expect? Call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
December is here, which means your stress levels are probably high as you try to wrap up year-end work tasks, attend holiday gatherings, and find the perfect holiday gift for everyone in your family. Good news! The Body Shop can relieve your stress with a massage for you and a gift card for a massage for your shopping purposes. Book an appointment for yourself or get a gift card for the holidays today at thebodyshoplincoln.com, located at 48th and A.
I'm Sergeant Jones with the Nebraska State Patrol. Driving drunk puts everyone on the road at risk. In Nebraska, over 30% of all roadway fatalities occur in alcohol-related crashes, and every one of those could have been prevented. The decision to give your keys to a sober driver could be the decision that prevents a roadway tragedy. Help keep Nebraska roads safe and always drive sober. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2024 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your wake forecast for today, we'll see mainly cloudy skies. It'll be a little breezy at times. Otherwise, we'll see a high around 33. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies continuing. We'll see a low around 19. Tomorrow, probably sunny skies do return. We'll see an afternoon high a little warmer, around 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights on the Don't Punt Hour. We got Kyron Williams, guest here with Des Moines Pierson'El, host as always. And again, if you guys want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951, Starter Heyman text line if you want to send a text, 402-464-5685. We were talking about kind of building a program the right way. There's a man out in Colorado who's a little bit of an enigma in the media, zagging completely. Only about, I think, 6 or 7 high school recruits is where he ended up on early signing day with Deion Sanders. At least he's been honest. He's been open about it, saying that's how I'm going to run it. So maybe it isn't that surprising. But do you see this with Deion, this working out for those guys in year 2? Do you expect an improvement with the transfer portal numbers? Do you actually see this thing working out? And is this going to be a long-term stay for Deion?
I think it is. I think it's long-term. I think that's why you see him not giving up as many scholarship spots. That's pretty much what it is, right? Like when you're doing these signing days, those are spots that are open. So I think what he's doing right now is saying, hey, we know the transfer portal is there. We're going to get these younger guys who we think are ready or can play. And then the ones that aren't, we're not going to sign you. So I think the days of that, of signing a bunch of guys on signing day are over from what they used to be. But I think he's kind of leading the charge to say, hey, we're only going to sign 6. And we're going to go use the transfer portal to build it now. That's not the grandma way. That is microwave. So we'll see. I mean, we all had a chicken pot pie out the microwave before. That wasn't too bad. So we'll see how it works out. But you know, it just depends on. And he has a gold jacket. So obviously there's some method to his madness that we don't understand.
I think it's going to work because, I mean, who he is, the connections that he has to get people to the next level, the attention of bringing people in, the attention of the people that he has like in the building, not like, you know, rappers or anything like that, but, you know, Warren Sapp is about to, be on his staff and everything like that. You got other people who from time to time, other Hall of Famers in there coming in, dropping gems and everything like that. So a guy who has won on every level, a guy who's did certain things that, you know, certain athletes that want to do. I mean, if you got a chance to go to Alabama or go be a corner at Colorado and learn from
one of the best,
like, you know, so now he can teach you certain things and everything like that. So it's different. And he's not gonna lie to, you know, these owners and whatnot. He knows probably all the owners, or then played against a lot of people, has a lot of connections. It's a lot of things other than like the playing aspect and side of things that go into, you know, the whole draft process and everything like that. He can kind of help and navigate and vouch for you. And regardless, even if it's drafted or undrafted, you know, you got a guy like Deion that didn't put his word or said something out there for you. I think that will attract, a lot of kids to go there just because of what the potential it has for the next level.
Yeah.
And like preparing you and getting you there and everything like that. So I think it's going to work solely just because of what he brings to the table.
Mm-hmm. It's a lifetime experiment,
literally,
that we haven't seen before. I'm a little scared if it does work really well, because I don't know what that means for college football. People are completely portal.
People are going to try and replicate it, but like it's certain things that like I said, that comes with him that you can't replicate.
He has a gold jacket.
Mm-hmm. But do you think, like, say, obviously Kirby Smart wouldn't do that, but if he was
they're at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, Georgia is known for a good defense and competing against Alabama and winning national championships. Regardless of if you want to go to the league and everything like that, fine. But will you be able ever to compete for a national championship? Georgia can compete year in and year out. We don't know really what Colorado will be in the next year or two.
Right.
So that's kind of hit or miss. I'm not knocking them to or anything like that, but Colorado's not in a position to go and compete for a national championship. Georgia is.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia has.
Right.
So it's a different beast.
Who has the better season next year, Nebraska or Colorado? Don't think too hard. This is Nebraska radio station.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be honest, brother.
We got a freshman quarterback.
We have a freshman quarterback. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, you hear the saying a lot of times, drinking the Kool-Aid. I think sometimes people hear, oh, well, we got this top recruit and number one, and now we're number one in the country. Just being in locker rooms, I know it doesn't work like that. If this was basketball, I would 100% say, yeah, we're going to the Final Four. But this is a 22-man game, and that doesn't count special teams. Talking about special teams, you're talking about another, 22 guys, right? So I just think I think it's going to come down to what does that product look like on the field. I'm giving us 9 wins. I think we can get 9, get to a bowl game. And seeing what Colorado has, I mean, they have a guy like Travis Hunter, right? Who knows what they can do? Who knows what his son can do at quarterback?
Shador Sanders, he'll dice you up if you give him time.
We've seen what his son can do at quarterback.
They got to fix the O-line. That's number one.
We don't know what we will have with this guy coming in. So I'm not going into.
I'll say this:
you tried it. You
almost got it.
You tried it.
Well, think about our quarterback room with Sims to Harburg to Purdy, and what a disaster that. It's mean because Harburg learning on the job. I don't want to bash on him. Sims, that's just a mental thing. I'm not sure. Yips, whatever you want to call it.
He was doing the same thing that he was doing at Georgia Tech.
That was a unreal level of like the non-contact fumbles. Was
the eye in the sky. Don't lie. He was doing the same thing.
Well, you can keep adding to my point here. We still got 5. We still got 5 wins.
What are we looking at?
We got 5 wins with that quarterback room.
I'm more pissed off. And
that's why I said 9 too. Right. I think we can, with the horrendous play that we had at quarterback last year, and we get a guy that can play quarterback better, and not even play quarterback better. I think, like Cam Newton said, can you manage this game?
Mm-hmm.
Can you help us not lose it? And then get us to the point where now you're helping change the game, and you get us from 9 wins to 12, right? Or to 10 or 11 or whatever that number over that is, right? I think we can do it, but it goes back to what we were saying early in the show. Are we going to get guys in there that can help develop these guys? Yeah, Matt Rule is leading them. Yeah, he's the face, but who's going to be with those guys day in and day out, developing them, helping them with their drop back, helping them, be a student of the game, and helping them outside of football. There's a lot of things that go on outside of this game that have nothing at all to do with the game, but on game day it matters because it's where your head is at, right? Mm-hmm. So I think all those things matter and have to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, being a Nebraska fan, I'm going to assume Nebraska has the better year, and I do wish we could have kept Purdy just so if you do get Kalen and you do get Rail in there, they can at least see a guy who's done it, who's comfortable in that position, and whether he starts or
Dylan's not
get
coming
those
here
mental
to sit.
reps.
He's not coming here to sit. So
but I'm still saying if you have Purdy in that room, I'm always in the terms of iron sharpens iron. That's at least a guy who's been there long enough who knows the playbook.
And he could have been the best, and I guarantee you they still would have tried and found probably a way to get Dylan in.
I would think he's gonna start no matter what. But I'm saying the value in the education that Purdy could bring, I don't think he's gonna not be helpful in him showing him the playbook and the plays.
I don't think Purdy wanted to stay. I think once you get
he
the
wanted out.
I think once you get the number one dude in the country, it's like, okay, well, you're giving me the sign where I'm going to go ahead and head out. So
Same thing with McCord.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure,
he
right?
knows I throw that first interception, I'm going to hear the Raiola chants in the crowd.
For sure.
And I got 1 year left because he's one of those players that didn't quite luck out with all the extra years in college where he's really got just those 4 and he's got to go ahead and hit out. But it is going to be interesting to watch with Deion, Colorado, the storm they bring. And there's one thing about Deion, it'll probably help you on the NIL deals as well.
Sure.
But I'm curious, you guys never got the NIL money. Where are you at on that? I think everyone agrees that it's fair. These guys always deserve to be paid, but it's a bit of a toothpaste out of the bottle where the numbers, they're a bit fictitious at times. They're high numbers. It feels like agents are setting up fake numbers to kind of drive the market. And of course, there's sharks out there too that maybe don't even have the best interest for the kid out there. With NIL, how out of hand does this feel like it's getting? Are you guys completely okay with the route that we're currently heading in, where quarterbacks, before they even play, talking about Dylan Raiola, 1.75 roughly through 4 years?
I think we have to ask the question is, what about the last 80 or so plus years that that hadn't been going on? If now they're just throwing out $1 million, $1 million to this kid, pat on the back to that kid. But
don't blame the kids.
Yeah. I think when you look back at it, you have to say, okay, what is this really worth? What is this number? And then how do we make it fair? Not just for football, but for other sports. There's other sports out there that should be, if their sport is turning over that much cash, they should be, being able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. So I like it. It's the Wild Wild West right now. And I think there will be some regulations put on it, but at the end of the day, this is something that's going to go to the Supreme Court. This isn't going to be just something that just like gets voted on and gets passed. It's going to be something major. So I hats off to the players, man. I think guys in our position who just missed it, our whole job right now is to encourage those guys and give them the knowledge that we got from being professionals. Because at the end of the day, now in college, you're not a kid anymore. You are a professional athlete. You are being paid, and you have to conduct yourself as such. You can't do things that a guy who's not a professional wouldn't do, and we all know what those things are. So I just think you just got to be smarter, and you got to be a professional about your business.
How much do you guys think about that? Just missing the window.
Man, he probably think about it more than me.
I mean, times change. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy it has happened. Give Reggie his Heisman back.
Thanks.
But I mean, it's a huge snowball. And trying to slow that down is going to be something. Hopefully that, like I said, these universities can implement something to help these kids to understand money management better.
Thanks.
By not creating, terrible and bad spending habits just because you used to having, that, and even, on scholarship and everything like that, everything was covered. You go to bowl games, we get extra money. You get a stipend every month. The living situation around here isn't terrible. Like, you can still do some things. So, 4 years of that, you will definitely create, especially, you're young. I'm not saying immature, but your mind is not, fully understandable and capable of that. Not everybody is. I just feel like, hopefully nothing bad turns out about it, but there will be some of those situations that happens with the Florida quarterback who lost out, I think it was like 15 mil or something like that.
Yeah, he got screwed really bad.
So hopefully, these universities implement something to make sure that doesn't happen. Hopefully, the kids are receptive to people like ourselves that have played on a pro level that kind of, give knowledge what understanding and how stuff is and everything like that. But it's tough because I got money, it's mine, this and that, and people are gonna be in their own ways with stuff. So hopefully they don't get too stuck and set in their own ways and get away from the football part aspect of it.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of what happened when California basically told the NCAA this is happening. You guys can try to fight us.
It had to be done.
And they had to do it, right? It exploded into a mess, but we saw the NCAA was never going to change it. It seemed like they're totally content with the way things were. And I think it is a little bit of a Wild West. It will get better as years go by. but I think it will take a little bit. Before we go to our break here, Kyron Williams, I do want to ask you about an event you do have coming up here. Share a little bit about that and how people can get involved.
Yeah, man. So we're going to have the 1K 1v1 challenge, and that will be on December 30th from noon to 2 p.m. over at Warren Academy. So the Omaha Sports Complex, that's right there in Omaha. We're creating a platform for younger guys, 14 all the way, 18 plus, to be able to have a platform to show themselves. I think something that is big in like Louisiana, Texas, I'm from Louisiana. We always have 7-on-7s. We always have these 1v1s. And I think just with the weather here, it doesn't permit to do it in the winter and fall, late fall, early winter. So we want to provide this platform for these guys to be able to come out, to be able to play, to be able to show, what they can do, and then also win some extra cash. So shout out to our sponsors, Soldier Sports, Motivair 360, A1 Lincoln, A1 Auto Lincoln, S Fitness, and then also Brigata. So shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank them so much for helping create this platform. And thank you, 97.3 for allowing us to have a platform. So appreciate y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they want to get more information on that, what's the best way to do it? They check out an Instagram or a website, or what's kind of the best way?
Yeah, so you can head over to my Instagram, just Kyron Williams, KIERON Williams. You'll see the sign up there, and you'll see all the info there. We just did a shout out to Eddie over at Go Big Eddie.
Okay.
We just did a thing with him, so you can see that, and you can head over to sign up at www.betonyourself.shop. Again, that's www.betonyourself.shop.
Easy enough to remember. And for all those listening, again, I'll put those on the podcast notes after we're all said and done. So in case you missed it, just look at the podcast notes. But nonetheless, we'll throw it to break here on the Don't Punt Hour with Kyron Williams. Good morning, Pierson'El, host as always. Don't go anywhere. One more segment up next.
This is Jeff Essink, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-week challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give
John Henry's
a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your weekly forecast for today, we'll see mainly cloudy skies. It'll be a little breezy at times. Otherwise, we'll see a high around 33. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies continuing. We'll see a low around 19. Tomorrow, probably sunny skies do return. We'll see an afternoon high a little warmer, around 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, final segment here on the Don't Punt Hour with the host, as always, the morning Pierson'El. We got guest Kyron Williams in here as well. And again, I will put it in the podcast notes if you want to get involved. What was the name of that again?
The Bet on Yourself 1v1 1K challenge.
Bet on Yourself 1v1 1K challenge. And betonyourself.shop.
Yes, sir. www.betonyourself.shop.
Absolutely. So go check it out. Definitely support it. Seems like a great cause, especially we talked about it. It's hard to play football when we start getting towards December, January, February around here in the Midwest to kind of do those 7-on-7s, 1-on-1s. But we got a little bit of time here left before we throw it over to the Doan Athlete Project. I want to get your guys' thoughts on some of these NFL coaches and possible hot seats. I think Mike Tomlin, pretty well safe. Antonio Pierce hasn't been really promised the job. To me, that seems like an obvious hire. Former player, has respect of the locker room, but maybe you're looking elsewhere. Jim Harbaugh, if he decides to go NFL, seems like Raiders might be a good fit for him.
Patriots.
Bill Belichick, you think he's gone?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, I think every train has its last stop.
Mm-hmm.
You hate to see it stop, but it's got to stop eventually, right?
I think that is a good tweet.
Yeah. every train got its. I mean, even when you look at it, right? I mean, you look at the greats who've done it, the Bear Bryants of the world and such. You know, they all made it to that end where it's like, hey, it's okay to ride off in the sunset. Nobody can take away. What do you want? 6 championships, 7? How many ever that was? You know.
Yeah, enough to cover. I think it was 6, 5 or 6. With Tom. Might have been more of that. Let me look it up real quick while you finish your point.
I think it was 6.
The same thing with Tomlin though. Like I think Tomlin, I think the Steelers organization has like the fewest like head coaching job changes.
8 championships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time for the last stop on that bus. It's all right.
My biggest fear with that is always, if you want to keep going on the train analogy, once you lose that momentum and it does come to a grinding halt, trying to get that thing
you lost it when Brady left.
Yeah, it's
been
gone.
The defense, it's not like the defense has been horrendous. It's just the offense you got to pick it up there.
Since he left, they ain't been the same.
And we're talking about Super Bowl caliber too, right? I think he's still done a great job of managing what he has over there. But when you talk about the caliber, and you talk about the age that he is, to rebuild that thing, it's going to take, 3-4 years? He's older, right? So we don't got to even talk about what that means, 3-4 years if you're 70, right? So, you got to just start taking that into consideration, more time with family, more time with kids, So
grass is always greener, but I've seen it, with a lot of my teams that I'm fans of. We've gone through the merry-go-round of firing people, and
Right.
I think the Bears coach is gone.
Yeah.
I think Ron Rivera is probably gone.
Mike Tomlin, I think he's staying. He's got to stay.
Yeah,
he was in rumors mid-season,
I like
and I
that,
couldn't
but
believe it.
I think he just needs a new to turn the page.
He's a pretty young coach too. Like
I think this would be a perfect time for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be a perfect time, like you say, he brought him a Super Bowl. It's a perfect time to turn the page because you're not old.
You're not appreciative of where you are and what you have been.
Right.
Like he hasn't in 15, 16 seasons. He hasn't had a losing season.
Yeah, always over 500.
That's not easy to do, especially at that level with what you've been given and everything like that. And so I mean, I don't think he's the problem. I think there's other issues around there and everything like that, and he's just kind of catching stray bullets. But I mean, if he stays, good for him. I like Coach Tomlin a lot. I've met him a few times with playing him. I knew some players over there that kind of introduced and everything like that. So he was a cool dude. He went to William and Mary and everything like that. So I don't have no problems with him. But the Raiders, we'll see what they do. Hopefully they get part 2 of
you want Antonio Pierce to stay
for sure. I mean,
I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, that situation is kind of like with the Bisaccia, same situation with like that they were in a few years ago, and I know for a fact you had Derek Carr, Max Crosby,
right,
and other caliber faces of the team, Colton Miller, saying like, nah, we think Bisaccia should be the coach and everything like that. You didn't listen to the guys in the locker room, and you haven't been the same since you let Bisaccia out the building.
And I think when you look at what Dan Campbell is doing over there with the Lions, like he's showing that player's coach, that thing exists.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back at when Pete Carroll was putting the fire under dudes, and when he was a little bit younger, you had that Legion of Boom. I mean, that guy, he was a vocal leader as a coach, So I think players respond to that. And I just think it's just going to depend on management, right? Like, do they want to, like DP said, do they want to go get a Jim Harbaugh, or do they want to take that player out? I just think it's going to come down to their decision, what they decide to do.
Yeah, I think my biggest fear would be like losing the locker room if you do decide to get rid of him, because it's pretty clear to me that they really like him as the head coach. The team's been doing a lot better. Aiden O'Connell, although he wasn't necessarily great in that Chiefs game, I think they'll move on from him. But that defense, and they did get the running game going. That's one thing with Aiden O'Connell. Even though we talked about before Cam Newton on game manager, sometimes being a game manager works. Yeah, that's all you need to do to win a game. But nonetheless, it will be interesting to see. While we get out of here, do you guys think that Jim Harbaugh does go to the NFL next season?
I think so.
I think with everything that's going on right now, college football, and
it's a lot to manage.
It's enough. Like he's going to be under a microscope, criticized, and it's just like it just.
And they got another NOA, if you didn't notice, for burger scandal during the COVID dead period.
Oh yeah, time to move on.
Move on. Like it is what it is. And if he does, I don't know where he goes in the NFL, because the Chargers is appealing.
Chargers, Bears, Commanders. There'll be options next year in the NFL. That most is certain. Even the Panthers, but I think that's probably on the bottom of the list for most guys.
They're gonna have to really break the bank to get somebody to go to Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, but we talked about with Matt Rule, but it's pretty evident that it was not Matt Rule's fault.
Oh
no, that is a tough franchise to turn around right now. But we got to get out of here. Dylan Athlete Project up next. Don't go anywhere.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is